Hey guys, if I push this button right here, we sign another free agent player.
No, please, stop. Have mercy!
Pretty sure I just gave myself a concussion, but in today's recap, we have to talk about the fact that the Dodgers, they've done it again. They're on a quest to collect every Infinity Stone in the entire world, and this time they have brought in 26-year-old, or soon-to-be 26-year-old, Hye-Seong Kim, not to be confused with the other Korean baseball player, Hye-Seong Kim. They're two completely different people. But yes, he is another Asian-born player who's going to attract an entirely new fan base to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, they just print money. None of us are surprised by this move, but you know what is surprising? The fact that we don't have 550,000 subs yet. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Now, without further ado, let's go in and talk about the brand new free agent addition courtesy of the Dodgers. Another one bites the dust. Hye-Seong Kim, he is going to LA for the next 3 years on a $12 million contract. That is the guaranteed money right now. But if the Dodgers choose to pick up his 2028, 2029 option, it's a team option, he'll get a guaranteed $22 million. I don't know about deferred money just yet, so I'm sorry, I haven't found that yet. We know that the Dodgers have infinite money, but the reason why that team option is there is just in case Hye-Seong Kim is overmatched by major league pitchers and he looks like Shogo Akiyama 2.0. I mean, that dude stole $21 million from the Reds. Now, it's being reported that Hye-Seong Kim is going to be a super utility player for the Dodgers. What does that mean? It's not a normal utility guy. Let's go with a Dalton Varsho. Dalton Varsho used to be a super utility player because he'd play catcher and then he could play all the outfield spots. He doesn't play catcher anymore, so he went from a super utility guy to a utility guy who could play multiple outfield spots, or maybe even a Mookie Betts who can play right field really well and he can play shortstop. Not very well, but he can play there. That's a utility guy. Super utility is, hey, Hye-Seong Kim, we need you at third, shortstop, second base, left field, right field. He's going to try and be Ben Zobrist. Hye-Seong Kim is going to be 26 years old next month. That's why he was able to come over as a free agent as opposed to Roki Sasaki. He's not 25 years old yet, so he has to come over as a foreign prospect. He's going to get paid a whole lot less. Although if you think about it, Hye-Seong Kim is only making like $4 million a year over the next 3 years unless he gets that $22 million. So he's not making a lot either. And maybe that's Shogo Akiyama's fault or Jung-Hoo Lee's fault. Again, we'll talk about some of the other foreign players in a second, but Hye-Seong Kim, again, he's going to be 26 years old. He is a 4-time Gold Glove winner out there. And overall, he's hit .304 in 950-ish games in the KBO. But you have to keep in mind that he had a really slow start to his KBO career. He upped his batting average over 300 because he hit .335 in 2023 and .326 this past season in 2024. He's also graded out to have 70 grade speed, so he can absolutely motor around the bases. Now, Hye-Seong Kim has been highly touted as a fantastic defender. I was taking a look at his stats, and he does make the occasional error, just like an Ellie De La Cruz, but because he's such a freak athlete, he can make the harder play more often, if that makes sense. So they'll take the error if he's making the harder plays that other guys can't make. Now, here's the thing about Gold Gloves in the NPB or the JPL or the KBO. I want to mention Seiya Suzuki. If you guys don't remember, Seiya Suzuki won 5 Gold Gloves in the NPB, and fast forward to 2025, the Cubs are thinking about using Seiya Suzuki as a DH because he was really bad last year. He was decent in 2023, not great his rookie season. So Seiya, he wasn't really a true representative of that Gold Glove that you get in other countries, if that makes any sense or if that's even fair at all. Now, the inverse can be said about Shogo Akiyama, and he's a big reason why some of these Asian positional players aren't getting a ton of money. Shogo was a beast in the box overseas. He comes to Major League Baseball, gets eaten alive, but he was actually pretty good defensively. Shogo Akiyama hit like .220 and had a career 47 OPS plus. He did not hit a single home run in 142 big league games with the Reds. And if you take a look at what he did in Japan for the, I think it was the Seibu, I can't remember their team name, but in 2017, he hit .322 with 25 home runs and 38 doubles. The next year, 39 doubles, 24 home runs, and a .323 batting average. The next year in 2019, he wasn't as good, but still, that's 30 doubles, 20 home runs, and a .303 batting average. He comes to the big leagues and he stinks it up. It just really seems like, and again, maybe this is not fair, that teams across baseball have lost faith in the Asian positional player because of what happened to Jung-Hoo Lee. Now, that's not the Giants' fault that he got hurt, but again, Shogo Akiyama, a lot of these guys have just been bad. But if you're an Asian-born pitcher, come on down. We got a blank check for you. Tanaka, Roki Sasaki, if he came over as a free agent, he might get $400 million. Yamamoto got $300+ million. I mean, if you're a pitcher and you come from overseas, blank check. But again, if you're a positional player, they're going to give you $14 and a scratched up Halo 3 disc for from GameStop, and it doesn't even have the cover with it. But what about a Hye-Seong Kim? Maybe, again, it's not fair to just blanket all of these guys as they're overwhelmed by big league pitching in America. What if Hye-Seong Kim is the better comparison to a guy like Hye-Seong Kim, because they played in the same league out in Korea? And we know that Hye-Seong Kim is a platinum defender. In 2023, not only did he play absolutely otherworldly defense, Hye-Seong Kim swatted 17 home runs with 38 stolen bases. Now, Hye-Seong Kim, he is not the power guy that Hye-Seong Kim could be. Now, 17 home runs compared to Hye-Seong's career high of 11 this past season in 2024. I guess it's not that different, but I'm also not projecting Hye-Seong Kim to be a 35, 40 home run guy. But if he can be a Ben Zobrist type of player where he plays almost every single day, maybe he's at a new position every other day. Obviously, Ben Zobrist is not going to be a 40 stolen base guy like Hye-Seong could be, but also Hye-Seong doesn't have the power of Ben Zobrist, so probably not a good comparison to make. It's just the last super utility guy that I can remember that had a really high ceiling. So again, I want you all to let me know in the comments, not only if you think that this is unfair that the Dodgers keep on signing free agents, but do you think that it's unfair of me to look at guys like Shogo Akiyama and not really pay attention to the Gold Gloves because of what's happened to Seiya Suzuki? Is that completely unfair, or do you think that there's some validity and why GMs are hesitant to give these positional players, not the pitchers, they're getting a ton of money, the positional guys who have to hit 300 times a year, they're a little trepidatious about handing out a fat bag? And by the way, for my older audience, a fat bag simply just means a ton of money. I guess that's what the kids say. So that is Hye-Seong Kim in a nutshell, a soon-to-be 26-year-old super utility guy who could get $22 million over the course of 4 years if the Dodgers pick up his option after 2028. It's pretty much a low-risk, high-reward. It doesn't cost them anything, and if they think that he sucks, they're just going to cut bait or trade him. Remember, $22 million is like me dropping $1. The Dodgers could literally light that money on fire and not lose any sleep. Now, that's a perfect segue to what I do want to talk about now, because I've seen it on social media already that a lot of fans are saying that this is completely unfair. The Dodgers are signing everyone. Their team is way too good. So let's take a look at what their team looks like going forward with this addition. So according to Fangraphs, left-handed hitter Kim is slated as a bench player, but again, he's going to be a super utility guy. So even though he's not going to be a primary position, he could get primary playing time because he could be playing 5, 6, 7 positions throughout the year. So he's probably going to be a 9-hitter when Gavin Lux isn't playing. Maybe he plays some left field. Maybe he plays some shortstop, some third base. I don't know how it's going to go, but right now on paper, you have Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, 3 MVPs. You have Hernandez, who was a monster last year, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Michael Conforto. They brought back Tommy Edman. Gavin Lux had a 900 OPS in the second half last year, and then Kim. And we haven't even talked about the pitching side of things. Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Gonsolin, May, Ohtani, once he's back, maybe in June or something like that. The Dodgers are loaded. And in terms of their off-season moves, we can see that they've added Hye-Seong Kim, a David Bodie. I know that he's on a minor league contract, but he actually has some really nice raw power numbers, at least when I watched him with the Cubs, and behind the scenes, he put up some great power numbers. Michael Conforto, Blake Snell, Giovanni Gallegos used to be a demon with the Cardinals. Maybe they fix him like they did with Blake Train, Teoscar came back. They lost Brent Honeywell, and I don't know if Joe Kelly's going to come back, and Enrique Hernandez, did he come back? I can't remember. Obviously, Kevin Kiermaier retired. Walker Buehler, he went to the Red Sox, and Jack Flaherty, who knows where he's going to go. But for the most part, they're running it back, and then they got better. So do you think that the Dodgers simply have an unfair advantage with all of these Asian-born players because of their location? Like, they're just close to Japan, and also that TV money is just completely different. Are they abusing their power? Or should we pick on the guys who aren't spending a lot of money? Like, maybe the guy who owns the Reds, who's only worth $800 million, maybe he shouldn't own them. What about the Guardians owner? He's a billionaire, and his brother owns the Knicks. They have a lot of money. Well, Fuzzy, that doesn't make a lot of sense because their TV money isn't the same as the Yankees or the Dodgers, so it's not fair to compare. There are so many different rabbit holes that we could jump down, so I guess we're going to get all of our frustrations and rants out in the comments down below. I want you guys, even if it's a paragraph, I don't care. I'm going to read a lot of your comments. What's the biggest issue in baseball right now? Is it cheap owners? Is it the disparity in TV money? Do you think that the Dodgers and the Yankees should be required to share more of that money, even more than what they're required to right now? How would you fix the financials of Major League Baseball? Again, a lot of us are younger or full-blown college dropouts who didn't even major in something with finance, but let's just put some ideas together. What do we got?